Morning guys, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, heading out with 2 or 3 dogs trying to beat this rain that's coming up over the hill. It's already raining on the Rancho Cucamonga side and back in there, which tells me I can see all the clouds from there coming our way. So it's supposed to be like 1 o'clock or something. So I've got just enough time to work a few dogs. So I'm heading into town, get some breakfast, and take these guys to the park. I've got Kai, and then I've got the German Shepherd, the Czech Shepherd. Hell of a dog. It's always a pleasure when you have the respect from the community to give you a dog like that for training. It's amazing. So I'll meet the customer this weekend and do a lesson with them, and then just slowly but surely we'll integrate the dog back into their home and get them used to it. They've got kids, and the Czech Shepherd's got just such a great temperament. It's just really excellent. It's all about how you mold the clay, right? You might have the genetic stamps are all there, and that dog is predisposed to be a Czech Shepherd. And anybody that knows what I'm talking about, when you get a breed like this, they're very distinct in their temperament. So there's a good time for me to explain this. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that it's not just the breed of dog. All German Shepherds aren't made equally. All Malinois are not made equally, right? It's where that dog comes from and the cultural aspects of what they're breeding for and what their genetic stamps are within that part of the little world, right? So the Czech Republic is a small country, but they are very well known for their Czech Shepherds. They've got some very good breeding lines and bloodlines over there that distinctly highlight the characteristics, temperament-wise, of the Czech Shepherd. And they vary. I mean, you're going to have, you get over to Holland and Denmark when you're talking Dutch Shepherds and Malinois, when you're talking KNPV. That sport has been going for over 200 years, and they've got a distinct police dog mentality. And so their suits are different. Their procedures and all their scenarios that they go through are distinctly different than any other sport that's out there. And you can say sport / police dog, right? Because that's what they're building is a police dog. So they've got a certain build. There's all kinds of things to break down within that, but I won't go into it now. But just realize that when you're shopping for a dog, that's why I tell people I don't go to the pound to get a dog. And sure, that's admirable, and it's nice that you can save an animal and do all that, but I really enjoy knowing what I've got, and I want to buy from a breeder that's got some reputation in regards to that, so that I know what I'm getting, right? It's important. So even like with Hans Peg, one of the biggest breeders in the Holland, Denmark area as far as KNPV and being in that sport, he's turned out several dogs that have gone to the moon. Devil and Mongo and just a bunch of dogs that he's had that have all gone very high up the ladder, right? And it's a testament to his breeding, but it's also a testament to his knowledge of what he's building, right? He's good at it. But within that whole spectrum, not all dogs, 10 dogs in a litter aren't going to come out and be all stellar, right? There's going to be variances. Some are going to be more for pet quality and homes, or some will be more for police dogs, and some will be more of an edge, and people want that, So there's a full variance of what that breeding stock will throw, right? So you've got to rely on your breeder and knowing his stock and then explain what you're after and what you need and what you want, and then go from there, right? So I've gone into this before when I've talked about Malinois is a good place to explain it, because everybody's high on Malinois, and there's hundreds of them, and they're getting backyard bred, and they're getting thrown into the pounds, and they're getting put down probably in the hundreds a day, maybe more, right? It's sad, right? Because American society is all about what they pick up with the media, and then I gotta have one, I want one because I saw the Wick movies, you know what I mean? Or whatever it may be that gets them interested, and they think they want one. And they don't realize that the dog is a product of two things: his genetics, his genetic stamp, but also his environment, which is you, and your ability to build that dog and mold and shape the clay is the key, right? And if you're good at that, you enjoy that, then you're going to be a little bit better than somebody else down the way. But it's a big difference between that home buyer, somebody that lives at home and thinks he wants a Malinois, doesn't have a clue, and dives into it because their perceived perceptions and what they think that dog is. Okay, so let's talk about the Malinois. It's a good example of this. The Malinois are varied all over Europe. They're all over the place, right? In different areas, and they're being bred for different cultures that are into them. IGP has its own culture. KNPV has its own culture. Belgium ring, right, is a larger dog, right? So each dog, so if you go to France, the dogs are usually a little smaller. Why? Because they want the dog to be able to get in fast, to be able to not lose points when he's going after the bad guy, and they're smaller, they're quicker, right? So they can get in there and get that bite before the decoy can esquive or try to get away from him, right? That's what esquive is all about. Get the dog to miss the bite. And then the dog loses points within the criteria of that individual sport. Belgium ring, their sport, they and their culture and their breeding programs have a little bit larger dog. Their temperament's different, right? KNPV dogs, their temperament's different, right? So don't just think you want a Malinois and you're going to go buy yourself or go down to the pound and get a Malinois and think that you're getting a high quality dog. A lot of times that dog will be all messed up in the head by virtue of his environment and what has been thrown before he ended up in the pound, right? And it's admirable. There's a lot of professional trainers that are out there doing this, grab a dog from the pound and rescue it and doing their best. And in that regards, it's admirable. But it's nothing that I will ever do because I'm mad at society. It's not the dog's fault. And I'm not going to help with that whole rescue and that whole attitude and make, just because I want to save a dog. I have a totally different perspective. And when I said it, there'd be a lot of people pissed off at me, right? Because I'm not into saving dogs. I'm into working quality and building a quality product. And so I want to start from quality, right? That's why I go out and buy well-bred dogs, right? Buy or handle or purchase, whatever. That is something that I enjoy, and I can rely on the consistency in that and knowing what that dog's temperament is based on that, right? So you can think I'm an asshole all you want, but reality and truth is there's a lot of credence in that, Go save the dog. Go to the pound and save a dog. And what you're going to do is end up with a lot of problems and things you got to work through. Now, professionals can do that. I can do it. I work all thousands of dogs over the years, guys. I'm used to dealing with the public and their screw-ups as far as the mental attitude and all the behavior modification and things you got to deal with because people don't know what they're doing and you end up with a basket case, right? I'm good at it. I don't disavow that. If a customer comes to me and they need some help, more than happy to help them, right? But there's certain limits within that criteria that I have that I won't totally take in every dog. It's not a matter of that I'll take any dog. I don't do that. It's just because I call them headaches. There's dogs that are just a lot of work, a lot of pain in the butt, and I only have a certain amount of results, right? And just because somebody gets on film and starts making himself look good because he can recover a dog like that, believe me, those dogs still have all kinds of problems most of the time. Right? They just hide it because they don't have to show it on film. It's all about that film edit, right? That film edit that makes them look all good. And those that are really internet trainers and everything, that's basically what they've done. They put together a pretty good film crew and they're putting it together, right? And makes them look like they're the best trainer in God's green earth. But believe me, a lot of it's just film editing and making sure you only get the good stuff and you don't show the customer anything that's going wrong in that regards, right? I always try to show you the raw. I try to show you the raw because I want people to realize that this is what it's all about, dealing with the rawness of the training and getting the dog to that next level is what it's all about. So we'll get there. All right, I'm done yakking. You guys have a good day. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training. I've got a series coming up, and I won't really talk about it now because I'm just going to go ahead and start putting out a series of shorts is what I'm going to do. Short videos that we're going to do. So we're working on that now. And I'll start posting them out, and you'll see little shorts. And it's all with an emphasis, and I'll let the videos speak for themselves. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day, guys.